Hi, everybody, and welcome to Aquamarine. We are being joined today by the gorgeous Susanas Tolo from Coastal Hampton Style. Hi, Susana.
Hi.
So, some of you might know Susana or be familiar with her Instagram page anyway, because she has over 90,000 followers on Instagram.
I know.
I know, it's so amazing. And your Instagram handle is Coastal Hampton Style, isn't it? With one S. So
One S, yeah. So Coastal Hampton Style, yeah. Not
yeah.
double S.
And I first discovered Susana when I started Instagramming towards the end of last year, and I was just blown away by all of the gorgeous things that she was posting. I still am. I'm like completely in awe of you, and I don't know how you manage to find so much time to post all these beautiful pictures all the time. Susana's a busy mum of two, and she lives on the Sunshine Coast.
Gold Coast.
Oh, sorry, the Gold Coast.
I think it was the Sunshine Coast, but now it's the Gold Coast.
Oh, okay. Well, it's so sunny behind you. I was just thinking sunshine.
I know.
And look at her beautiful house behind her there.
Oh, thank you. Still getting renovated, but getting there.
So, Susana, I'm going to just ask you a few questions about how you set up Coastal Hampton Style and what inspired you to do it. Like, what on earth was the inspiration behind it?
Well, I had friends always talk about Instagram, and I had the Instagram app, but I didn't even know how to use it or how to search for people. I absolutely had no idea. So one of my friends said, you should, I know that you like home decor and interior decorating and homes. Have a look at it because you can follow people that you like. So I was like, okay. So one night I sat down and started, learning on how to use it and how to look up people. And I thought, well, you know what? I love, the coastal homes. I love classic Hampton style homes. I'll just create a page that I personally love, or photos and images that I love. And that way, people can sort of go, people that love coastal homes and classic homes can find everything in one page.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like November 2016, so about a year and a half ago, where I created it. I thought, I'm like, what name should I call it? And at that time, Hampton style homes weren't as big in Australia as they are now.
Yeah.
But I wanted to incorporate the sort of coastal, breezy homes of Australia and the Hampton style homes and classic homes of the States. Yeah.
Okay. And did you expect it to be as popular as it has become?
No. And what's funny is I went all the way back on my Instagram to my first image.
Oh my God, that must have taken forever.
I did. And I think I had like 10 likes, which was pretty impressive, and no comments. And I think I got comments maybe on the sixth picture that I posted, and it was, like one comment. So yeah. It was just like gradual, but I never sort of gave up. I just kept posting things that caught my eye, that I truly loved. Yeah. And I thought, I'll just post every day and see, if people like what I'm posting. And I think I got to 300 followers in 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, well, wow. I should continue. And then I just grew from there.
Oh my goodness, that's just so commendable. I mean, we've just hit the 600 mark, and we've been 2.5 months. So I don't know.
But I never give up.
But yeah, I mean, I guess just posting beautiful content as well that people really respond to.
That's the one thing that I was always really picky. My husband goes, where do you find the time? I would sit at the start on, say, Pinterest, because I knew how to use Pinterest, and really pick the images that sort of stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, this is beautiful. This interior has to be shared. Yeah. So I would really think about the images that I wanted to share with everyone, and I made sure that they were, of high quality. Because sometimes you see, images on Instagram where you're like, you can't really see it very well. And I thought people notice straight away, so they'll rather comment on something that's beautiful and high quality and things like that.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I love about your feed, because you always seem to take so much time to actually research, like the photographer, and and even to go sometimes as far as like the actual type of paint that was used, or the tiles, or like
I know, and
detail.
it's so time consuming because I try to give credit as much as possible. And if it's something like a beautiful house that I'm posting that's got, like a blue exterior, I know people are going to ask me, what's the color?
Yeah.
So beforehand, I'll try to search to see if there is that information provided.
Yeah.
And that way I'll link it straight away. Or I can, recommend similar colors, but I try to prepare myself for the questions that I'm going to get asked.
Yeah, well, I guess once you've got, like 2,500 people commenting, or however many you have now.
Oh my God, not that many.
Oh no, I've looked. You do sometimes have that many.
Usually, like, there is a lot of people that comment, and sometimes it's just, and a lot of people, if there is a lot of comments, a lot of people don't read other people's comments, so I have to repeat myself,
Yes.
quite a few times of so usually if it's something that's striking that I know it's going to be asked,
Yeah.
I'll put it below, the image already. That way,
Yeah. Try and get their attention.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's the other thing that you do. You always respond to every single comment. Like that's how we
I
got
try.
wasn't it? Because like I was always commenting and just going, oh my God, this is gorgeous, and then you would comment back, and I felt like we built up a relationship. But you must be like that with absolutely everybody who comments.
Well, I really try to, like, if someone makes an effort to actually make a comment, because a lot of people can go, as they're scrolling through, but if they stopped and actually made an effort to go into your account and comment, then, I try to reply, because it's like, thank you for, for having a look at my page.
So what inspired you what causes you to love this whole Coastal Hampton style? Like, where does that all come from?
So basically, I've been very lucky with my childhood. I am Italian, as you know, but I left Italy when I was 9 years old, and I got brought up next to the sea. So our town in Italy is a little small sea town, and I used to go with my grandfather fishing at a really young age. And I've always loved anything that represented the ocean, the nautical feel. So colors like blues and aquas, like aquamarine, have always been sort of my love. It's always been back to the sea and the beach. And I have lived in a lot of different countries like Africa and Papua New Guinea and Indonesia. So I sort of traveled around and seen how people live and different styles of homes. But I always knew my style would be coastal,
Yeah.
but a particular coastal. So mum's always been into decorating as well, so wherever we went, even if it was in the middle of Africa, she would manage to, even if it was a tiny little house, to decorate it and make it ours.
Yeah.
So I would always see mum, transforming a little home wherever we went, even if we traveled so much. It always felt like home because she decorated it, the way that she liked. And so I already had ideas of what my home would be like as well, and what I loved.
Yeah.
So it started from there. And then I loved classic homes too. So it's a bit of a in-between fusion.
Yeah, it's so interesting because your style is so similar to my style, actually. And like, yeah, and I think it is that strange cocktail of, having grown up with a love of the ocean, spending, like in my case, we had a small sailing yacht, so we spent every school holiday and every weekend on the boat, and
Wow, beautiful.
sail all the time, and then obviously my time over in the Mediterranean, and going to spend time in Italy and beautiful places like Capri and
Wow. I
Portofino.
couldn't think of anything more perfect than what you've done.
Yeah, so when you talk about it, it's like tugs at my heartstrings as well.
Yeah.
So how do you actually go about finding all the images that you find for Coastal Hampton Style? Or is that
So
a secret and you can't tell us?
no, not at all. Like at the start, when I first started, it was mainly images through either Google, or a lot of them were from Pinterest.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the community or didn't really know anyone on Instagram, so I couldn't really share people's homes through Instagram, because I had, I didn't really follow many people and no one followed me. At the start, it was a lot of sort of Pinterest and Google and images that just caught my eye.
Yeah.
Once I got, started learning and started following people that I thought, wow, I love their homes, they're amazing, I would go onto their page and, ask, I love your house, can I share an image? Or a lot of designers are on Instagram that, might not be known. I share the photos. So now the majority of photos I share is actually from Instagram. People that actually have, Instagram accounts that are designers, or it's their actual home.
Yeah.
And it's kind of easier in a way, because they already would have mentioned who the photographer is and, where they got that item, which is so much easier than Pinterest, where it's just an image and you have no idea where it came from. And a lot of people, I'll be posting an image, say, of their home, of their design. They would be so thankful, be like, thank you so much for sharing, my photo and giving me credit. And so it's actually lovely as well, because it's a good feeling that you're sharing, their beautiful home with everyone. And I think to this day, there's only been maybe one person that's complained that I didn't ask permission to share their photo, even though I had credited and said whose it was. And so, so one in a million, which is good.
Wow. And what a silly person anyway, when you
I know. I was actually quite, because, I'm so usually I always say who it's from, and I said, look how amazing their work is. And so I was a bit taken back. I even said to hubby, it's like, oh, I didn't expect that. But I guess everyone, each to their own. But I took it down.
So in terms of styling your own house, because we can see a little bit of your beautiful house behind you, what's your inspiration for that? Do you sort of use your own feed for inspiration?
I do. So I'm lucky enough to live 2-minute drive from the beach. This is where the Hampton style comes in. So I love the classic feel of a house, with a beautiful staircase and a beautiful kitchen, which the Hampton is more of a mix of country kitchen.
Yeah.
And I really love that look. But with your typical usual Hamptons, it's very kind of neutral tones.
Yeah.
While this is where, for me, the coastal comes in. So my base is, I've got light wooden floors and light grey walls. But the color comes in by having my aquas, my blues, my kitchen tiles is all like a light baby blue color. So I've got the base of the Hampton style home, but with the coastal colors throughout. Yeah, and it's not just one color blue, it's lots of different shades of blue.
It's like those different tones. And
so I've got on one side, I've got teal, sort of aqua teal chairs, which you might just see in that corner there.
Yes, I love them, they're so beautiful.
And then on the other side, in my other living room, I've got blues. So it's a bit of a mixture of aquas and teals and blues throughout. Anything that reminds me of the ocean.
Lots of white, of course.
Yeah, and lots of white to make it bright and airy.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to just, start off by maybe they've moved to a new house and they really love your style and they really want to try and bring this Coastal Hamptons theme into their house, what would be your top tips for how they could actually try and recreate that sort of look? What would be the key things they need to do?
So top tips, if, for example, if say they're renovating, is paint does an amazing job of transforming a home. Yeah. So a lot of houses that are dated, had sort of like a creamish sort of coloured walls.
Yeah.
As this house was yellow inside, so the first thing was to paint the walls.
Yeah.
Get something fresh and bright. It could be, like a very sort of light greys, almost white, or just a nice plain fresh coat of white paint. You can never go wrong. That already brightens up the room and, completely changes the look. It's amazing what paint can do.
Yeah.
And floors. So that's probably my top 2 tips. The floors are so important. We had carpet here, which sort of, it was like a dark bluish grey carpet, which made also the house smaller, and it changed the look completely when we put laminate. So we put laminated flooring, and choose your color, color scheme really well. So those 2 things are your number 1 priority. Everything else can come later on, like your kitchen. But as soon as you do your paint and your floor, like the whole house already changes, transforms.
Yeah.
And the decor is the last thing.
Yeah. Puts the sort of icing on the cake.
It is. Obviously, you just think about the spot that you like spending the most time, and that was for me was the kitchen.
Yeah.
So even before the living room or the dining area, or even where I'm sitting now, I'm like, right, my next budget after the paint and the floor is the kitchen, because I'm lucky enough to have a huge 3-meter window, and it's the go-to, I think, for everyone, isn't it? You're always hanging around the kitchen most of the time.
Yeah.
And then with your kitchen, my advice would be to try to keep it classic. So I find that even having just like the base, a classic, even white kitchen, you can never go wrong, because you can always accessorize with colors.
Yeah.
Or put like something soft, like I've done, with the walls, use the blue tiles, but the base of the kitchen is white.
Yeah.
And also for, reselling purposes, you can never go wrong with a classic white kitchen.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. As much as I love blue, like I'll post images, of blue kitchens. I'm like, wow, they're so daring. I love it.
Yeah.
If I had, because my kitchen is a bit, it's more of a galley kitchen, so I can't have a kitchen island. I would love to, but I don't. But my future house, if I was daring, then I would use the kitchen island as a point of using, a colour. So like a navy, but the rest of the kitchen would be white.
Yeah, absolutely. We're repainting our kitchen white at the moment.
Oh, there you go. But honestly, it'll like brighten up. It's amazing what colour, as I said, number 1, colour, paint.
Yeah, absolutely. Because ours is, it's a sort of a pine at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
But the bones of it are great, because
Beautiful.
it's very, it's actually got that sort of almost shiplap, that
yes.
old-fashioned cottage kitchen wooden look, but it's just a horrible colour wood at the moment. It's that really honey yellowy pine. But I think when we completely paint it white, and it's quite a cool white that we're using, not a yellowy white. So it's like you said, more sort of tending towards the grey white. I think it's just gonna look gorgeous.
Oh, it's gonna, as I said, it's gonna, just giving a good paint job to something just transforms it.
Yeah.
And then you can't go wrong with the white kitchen.
A few nice accessories everywhere, and
I know, and that's the fun part, is decorating, and I'm always moving things around. Like, my husband is just like, he comes from work and goes, oh God, what now? Like yesterday, I've got, which I'll be posting on Instagram soon. I've got lots of windows in this house, but my windows are that old creamy color.
Okay.
And so yesterday I experimented and actually spray painted the steel of my sliding door, and it came out fabulous. And I was like, so I've actually got him. So yesterday, like at 7 p.m, he was spraying my kitchen window. So now it's all beautiful and white. But but I'm learning to do DIY so I can share it with everyone as well. So I'll be putting before and after photos of that too. So it's like getting crafty.
Yeah. Well, so that's another thing that I love about your Insta as well, is that you always are posting stories, and you're just, I honestly don't know how you actually have time to have a life in between everything else that you do, because your stories
I try. I said to my husband, there's a list of things that I need to post on Instagram, like because we've got a new light fixture, I got new pots that I need to photograph, I got new artwork that I got to put up, and he's just like, which ones? So I actually have a list of things that I need to do.
Yeah.
That I still haven't done. So it's just, yeah, I'm trying to prioritize.
And you have actually got a few nice things that people have given you, haven't you? Like the sugarcane trading company rug.
Oh, yes, they're fab, which you have in your store. Amazing, yeah, amazing rug. I've got that in my living room. It's got the beautiful blues and whites.
Yeah. What are some of your other favorite accessories and pieces that you've bought from or like accumulated from around?
Accumulated. So you will be seeing very soon. I'm putting a chandelier, handmade blown glass chandelier that I'm putting in my dining area in 2 days. Wow. And that was amazing. So the guys at Soctus here in the Gold Coast, they hand blown glass pendants, they make them. So I saw the actual whole process of them doing it and how long it takes just to do one.
Yeah.
And they've given me like a limited edition color, which they don't sell. So it makes it so much more, a blue, of course, it's a blue aqua green color. It makes it so much more special knowing that, how long it's taken them to do it, but also that they've given me something that only I will have.
Yeah, how wonderful.
So that's, yeah, and then I'll be photographing it there, and it's beautiful. So that's something that I'll be definitely treasuring. I have lots of artwork which I've got given, which I still haven't had time to put up, which I will.
Walls.
Yes, and rugs as well. Another rug here behind me that, it's got perks, but it's a lot of hard work. So behind it, because I still need to find the time to photograph it, edit it, make sure it's great. So all that actually takes time.
Yeah, and then to present it as beautifully as you always.
Thank you. But honestly, every time someone gives me something, they've gone to the effort of picking it, sending it. So I always hope that it does really well.
Yeah.
Because I want to share the love.
And you definitely do.
Thank you.
Something else that you do that people might not know about is your house tours that you do little videos of as well.
I know. So last year I started taking a bit of video tours of homes, because I went to a display home that was amazing. It was like a Hamptons home, and I'm like, wow, I need to share this with my followers. So I had done like a tour of the home while I was there with my family, and I posted it on my Insta story.
Yeah.
And oh my God, you have no idea how many DMs I got. It would have been at least 40 private messages saying, can you show me, is there any way that we can see this again? Because they only last, I think, 48 hours or 24 hours?
24 hours.
24 hours on my Insta stories, and then they disappear. And I thought, well, actually, it's a good idea. Maybe I should start a YouTube channel. So I've started a YouTube channel a couple of months ago now, probably about 6 months ago. And I try to go when I've got a chance and do beautiful home tours and post them on my YouTube channel, which is called Susana, and then T for Tolo.
Okay. And everyone, I'll post links to all of Susana's Instagram and everything as well.
Yes. And so that's a lot of fun. I actually enjoy doing those. Definitely more work to do with editing and everything that goes into it. And I've only just started, so I've got like 400 followers.
Well, that's still a pretty decent number.
Yeah.
You're like, I've only got 400 followers.
I got 400. I know, now that you've got, compared to my Instagram account, it's like starting from scratch.
So how many are you on Insta now? Are you over 100,000 yet?
No, not yet. No, I'm hoping maybe in 2 weeks' time I should reach 100.
Wow. Are you going to have a party to celebrate?
Yes, I'm like, what am I on? 97.1 now.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll do like I'm thinking of maybe a big giveaway. I have to think. I've got like lots of thoughts coming through, and I'll post a thank you photo as well. So
exciting.
Yeah, thanks. Crazy.
What are your plans and hopes and dreams for the future of Coastal Hampton Style? Because this sort of like was born out of your passion, wasn't it? It was never really kind of intended to be a business, I guess. But
no, never. It was like, I mean, I've always loved interior design and decorating, but I never thought of it, as a business, because I haven't done the traditional, study of it. I sort of learned, by watching other people along the way. It's more of a passion than having a form saying, I'm an interior decorator. Maybe down the road. But at the moment, I'm working on a website where hopefully I can share my favorite things, where everyone can come in and have a look and purchase. So I'm very excited. It's a lot of hard work because I'm trying to figure this out myself, but I want to try it and give it a go. So exciting times ahead. So, keep a lookout on the Instagram account, because I'll let everyone know when I've launched it. So.
Oh, that is super exciting.
And then I thank you, because you've been giving me so many tips on, how to do things, which I really appreciate.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. Yeah, I mean, it's it goes both ways. You've been giving me lots of tips and help with my Instagram as well.
It's I guess, like we've mentioned to each other before, some people are good at one thing and somebody else at something else. So we've all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we need to use our strengths, I guess. So
absolutely, and work together.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's been so lovely chatting with you, Susana. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful insights and your time with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime you want to chat.
Thank you. And everyone, I'll post the links below so you can make sure you follow Susana and and join in the big celebrations when she does hit that big 100,000.
I know. I'm so excited. Like, I still can't believe it. I think when I hit 90,000, it really hit me. And I was like, I hit 90,000. I'm like, I'm nearly 100. I'm nearly there.
That's so cool.
So it's all very exciting. But thank you for your support as well.
It's my pleasure. I'm sure there's going to be lots of people watching this who maybe didn't know about you already, who'll be so happy to discover your feed as well.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gorgeous. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.